My first introduction to the Keystone XL pipeline was we were looking out that window and there was a survey crew working across the creek. And I got very concerned. I called the county sheriff, and then that's the first time I'd ever heard the name TransCanada. From day one, I was informed they would have power of condemnation. This fight, my whole life's been dominated by it.
The State Department has decided that the Keystone XL pipeline would not serve the national interests of the United States.
Today I'm pleased to announce the official approval of the presidential permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. It's a great day for American jobs and a historic moment for North America and energy independence.
President Trump's comments about the jobs and all that, I don't know, do people even believe that anymore? I've been on this land all my life. When they show up to construct, it'll be a very traumatic time, and I dread it.
We'll cross the draw right here in front of us, and it follows this draw down.
The pipeline is going to impact me by 3 miles of a direct pipeline, in addition to a 2.5 mile access road that they will build through me into the route. I settled, but they had the power to seize me. My biggest concern with eminent domain in this situation was a foreign company, an international foreign company, TransCanada, was able to use these laws, and I have a little trouble with that. I am a registered Republican. Let me just make one little statement about climate change. Anybody that thinks that we as a human race are not affecting this planet needs to rethink that, because we are.
My Indian name is Eagle Feather Woman. I'm from the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. I was the first camper at Sacred Stone Camps of Standing Rock. In 2010, we heard that TransCanada was going to put Keystone XL directly through the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe reservation. We weren't going to let that fly. This fight for us is not about us wanting oil or going through our reservation or anything like that. What it really comes down to is that this is a fight for the protection of our people, fight for the protection of the sacred, and then one of the most sacred things is water. Should Keystone XL break along Cheyenne River Sioux reservation along the river, it will reach our main water intake within 33 minutes. That is totally unacceptable. This is not a Native American issue. This is a human issue. Everybody needs water.
This is a mule deer that I harvested it at the Lower Brule Indian Reservation in '93, and this is my tie and medallion collection. We have 9 tribal nations. As far as the route of the pipeline, it will come close to the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe and the Rosebud Sioux tribe. Major concern is the spill and getting into the Ogallala Aquifer and the waterways, because the tribe's position is water is life, and I certainly understand that.
Senate Bill 176 is a very controversial piece of legislation, and there's a feeling of lack of consultation on the bill itself, that the governor only invited tribal leaders to come and talk to him after the bill was passed.
Well, certainly it was done in a fashion that required a timeliness about it, because after Trump took office, he approved the Keystone, and we didn't really have time to reach out. I certainly wish we would have. President Trump did say he would make America great again. I don't necessarily agree that the Keystone XL will make America great again. I certainly don't think it's going to make any great economic impact on South Dakota or on the native tribes that share our borders.
I'm a member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe. You know, Senate Bill 176, I think, has serious implications as we talk about First Amendment rights, you know, freedom to assemble, the right to protest. What upset me about it was they didn't reach out to the tribes beforehand. It's really fear of the unknown, and it's fear of people are finally standing up for themselves against corporations. I think President Trump is lying to the American public. Let's just tell the truth. We're not going to use this in the United States. This is all going to be shipped out and refined and sent to China or wherever. So to me, I think it needs to stay in Canada. I'm a realist. I travel the country rodeoing. I use oil and petroleum products, but there's a smarter way to do this. You know, we don't get a do-over.
Where Keystone XL is proposed to cross my property, it's been in the family since 1939. It's kind of a matter of pride, you know, to own and take care of the land, you know, and get it paid for. Then you have a company like TransCanada come in and tell you that they are going to take your land to use it to make millions of dollars with it and virtually pay you nothing for it. On my land, a spill on that land, it would ruin that land forever. This is all low wetland that sits on top of the Oglala Aquifer. The science is there to say that what they're doing is wrong, but the government doesn't have the balls to say no to them.
This is the property that I grew up on, the home place.
You know, if they're laying that pipeline in right now in parts of this, you know, they wanted to go through just down on the other side of where that REA pole is there. TransCanada, they're denying this now that they took me to eminent domain, but the eminent domain process was there, they done it, the judge ruled on it. We don't need this pipeline. It's a want and not a need.
This ground is pretty much as God made it, or whoever made it, and I just soon have stayed that way, but I've lost that battle. So we put that picture window in here about 10 years ago, and I look out that window and drink coffee every day. And I think I'm glad to live where I live.